You wound up cutting down to 23. Last year you started with probably 29 or 30. Is that maybe more a reflection that spots were available in the ECHL, where last year they weren't because of the lockout? Or
I think a little bit of that, and I think we just didn't want there to be any guessing, and I think it's, even though the decisions to pull guys in, even if it's one up front and one out, is tough. When you got 2, 3. Last year was an exception. 4 guys up there, arguably in both positions. It makes it a lot tougher. So I think guys are still going to be held accountable, and until we need a bigger roster size, we're going to utilize everybody and have a smaller group for the time being.
In years past, when just back to Pelly, when guys have come in from another organization, even though he was only at another organization for a little bit, when they've come in with a double-digit minus rating, you've had to sit down with them and talked about how that had to change and how we're going to change it. With him being a veteran guy, is that a conversation that didn't have to take place, or is that one that you still had with him?
No. I think for him, I think getting back here, and I thought he had a good camp, and he's a low maintenance guy. He knows his. Like I said, when I brought up the offensive thing, he was already thinking along those lines. So he's been around long enough and played enough games in the NHL that he's not a guy. Obviously, he's, again, like everybody else, he's going to be held accountable. But this is a fresh start for him and a new opportunity at this point in his career to embrace that leadership role. And like I said, kind of. Maybe get out of that pigeonhole of a fourth-line guy. If he goes back to the NHL, is he going to be in that role? Yeah, but the idea for us here is to have him help us offensively more than he maybe has in that past, which in turn I think would give him confidence if a recall situation arises.
Do you write on the whiteboard, be tough to play at home?
We've discussed it, and we're going to continue to reinforce it. 2 years ago, I really liked what we did at home. Last year, we got away from it. We're going to stay on these guys with the size of our D and speed, and we get some bigger forwards up front this year too as well. And the ones that aren't big should intimidate with their speed and skill. So I think it's part of our start here, and we want to make this building tougher to play in than it was last year for sure.
What do you think the difference between 2 years ago and last year?
You know what? I think it's a little bit of personnel. I think sometimes it's tough to put your finger on. I just think we've talked about it, and I just think we in general want to play a little more in-your-face game, and that doesn't mean being dumb. I think we can intimidate in different ways, and like I said, with our speed, our forecheck, and the power play, again, you get a good power play at home, that can be a form of intimidation as well. So, but with the size of our D and some guys emerging physically, Helgeson and some of these guys, Matteau's a big guy that we want to play a physical game. Pelly brings that element, and we want to do that at home, and we got to start right away.
Do you kind of treat Saturday, Monday like Monday like part of this week, in terms of making roster decisions and stuff? I mean, are you like, is each goalie going to get a game?
Yeah, that's most likely the plan. Just based on the fact that you don't want one. Let's just hypothetically say Wedgwood doesn't get a game. He's now 2 weeks into the season, and 5-6 weeks before he's played in a real game. So the intention right now is to each give him a game and go from there, knowing that the next week we're going to have back-to-back in Norfolk.